Jumping on live right now, and I'm going to give some people a second to jump on here, but I'm going to be talking about 9 digital marketing tips for local businesses, primarily focused on lead generation. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up some slides here while people are jumping on here so we can start to work through this with you guys. So once again, going to be talking about 9 digital marketing tips for local business. That'll be the conversation today. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Looks like we have a good group that's jumped on here thus far, and the numbers are climbing each minute here, so let's go. So tip number 1, it's about turning your website into a lead generating machine. Here's the deal. Your website is your best salesperson, and that's really how you need to think about it. Your website is your 24/7 salesperson. It never calls in sick. It can work through every single holiday. It has the perfect sales pitch every single time, and it can sell 1,000 people at the exact same time. So it's absolutely critical that you have a website that really is your best salesperson. So put some effort behind that, make sure that your website's fully optimized, the design is beautiful. Here's a power tip: make sure it looks good on your phone, because most of the traffic is going to be on the phone, on the mobile device, so your website needs to be key right there. Here's the deal with the website. You have 2.5 seconds to capture somebody's interest. If you don't capture their interest in 2.5 seconds, they hit the back button, and that's called a bounce. So you don't want that. You want them to stay on your site. So make sure that your site says who you are, what you do, and how to contact you, and people could see that really within that 2.5 second window. That's critical. And here's the other thing. Make sure you compare your website with your competitors. Put yourself in the consumer's shoes and just, try to be unbiased and look at your website and your competitor's website and ask yourself the question, would you choose you or would you choose them? And ultimately, that's the same conversation that a consumer's having in their own mind when they're trying to analyze who to work with. So put some effort behind that, really optimize your website so that it is the best when it comes to your competitors in terms of design. Let's jump to tip 2. Tip 2 is to leverage a CRM as your marketing database. So a CRM is where you can manage all your leads and customers. It's essentially your online database, and it's really important for small business, but leverage that also as your marketing database. So the key there is setting up automation so that you can send out emails for things like holidays, upcoming promotions, birthdays. Keep all that information housed in your CRM and create automation off of that so that you can do more with less, right? You can nurture your customers and your leads through the sales process, or you can increase the lifetime value for your customers. A big thing about marketing ROI is about getting more sales from your existing customers. That increases the lifetime value. If everybody bought from you 1 or 2 extra times, just think about what that does for your revenue. And that's the power of a CRM. And that's the power of marketing automation, that you can connect to your CRM. So put some real thought into strategies that you can implement so that the form on your website goes into your CRM automatically, which puts people in lists automatically and sends emails out to them at the appropriate time to try to increase sales. Let's jump to tip 3. Tip 3 is hinging off that same topic, which is to nurture your leads and your customers with email marketing. So this is a no-brainer, right? I don't think I've ever seen a customer that properly used email marketing and saw no increase in sales. I've definitely not seen one that saw a decrease in sales. They never went backwards. So there's all opportunity with email marketing if you do it right. Why wouldn't you do something that basically costs nothing but drives sales? That's a huge ROI, and that's why email marketing has basically the highest return on investment of any other marketing channel, because the cost is extremely low and the return is extremely high. The key is what's the messaging? When are you emailing people? What are you emailing them? Try to come up with a strategy that's both for your leads and for your existing customers so that you can increase performance on both sides. That's the ticket. And as much as you can automate, the better, right? That allows you to just get more sales without even lifting a finger, which is the key to marketing. Let's jump to tip 4 here. Tip 4 is to get more reviews and referrals. So I would encourage you to take a look at your competitors and just take a look at how many reviews they have out there online and what their average rating is and how many review sites that they have a rating on. Take a look at that and where do you stack up, because that process of research is what your potential customers are doing every single day. Before they call you or they buy from you, they're doing this mini research project on their own. And what they're going to find is either A, you have the most reviews and the best reviews, or B's, you don't, right? If you have the most reviews and the best reviews, you're just going to get more sales. It's just a no-brainer. You're going to get more sales. So put some effort behind that, right? Ask your customers for review. Follow up with your customers after their experience. If they had a good experience, ask them to leave a review. Because the thing is the modern day referrals come from the review system. That's where people get referrals now. They look for reviews and then they go to the one with the most reviews. So every review you get out there in the world is like a digital salesperson on the digital streets of America that's flagging people down and sending them to your business. And that's why that's so important, is the more reviews you have, the more digital salespeople you have out there in the world sending you referrals. So just work hard to have more reviews and better reviews. Tip 5 is to dominate your competitors on Google My Business. So Google My Business for a local business is such a gold mine if you do it right. If you fully optimize your Google My Business, so fill out your entire profile, make sure it's fully optimized, just completely populate it with content, and then get continual reviews on your Google My Business, that's going to help you rank high on the Google My Business and the Google Maps. The thing about Google My Business is Google keeps adding to it. So at this point, it's basically your mini website on Google. And more, Google's providing information on Google My Business to the point where consumers almost don't even have to go to your actual website to get what they're looking for. They can find all that information directly on Google My Business, which is kind of Google's goal, is to keep everybody engaged with using Google. So don't fight it, embrace it, optimize your Google My Business so that it's fully populated and it's the best compared to your competitors, so that you rank at the top on the Google Maps in your local area, you have the most reviews, and you get more visibility and sales from that. Google My Business also has a posting feature where you can do a weekly post in your Google My Business, and I encourage you to take advantage of that feature as well, posting content, promotions, updates about your business, because that too will help people find you quicker, but also Google likes you using that feature. They're going to make you rank higher by using it, so it's pretty powerful. Tip number 6 is to rank highly for the best terms with content marketing. So content marketing is about creating continual content about your area of expertise. So those are essentially keywords and or hashtags if you're on social media. Figure out what your best keywords are and your best hashtags are, and start creating content about those things. So write blog articles, update your website, create videos for social media, put infographics out there on social media. Just be super engaged with those particular topics so that if somebody searches for that topic on Google, your website ranks on top. That's going to drive sales. Or if they search that hashtag on Instagram, like we're on right now, you rank high in your local area for that hashtag. That's going to create additional visibility for you for that area of expertise. And the thing is you have so much knowledge on the keywords and hashtags in your industry. Why aren't you creating content about it? It doesn't take a lot. And if you just create, a few pieces of content a week even in your area expertise, that's just going to eventually add up to a lot of content and visibility that's going to drive more and more sales. People are going to think of you first when they need the products or services that you provide, because you've been a thought leader in that area of expertise, and that's going to be really valuable. Tip 7 is to become the most well-known brand in town on social media. So this is huge. Like, social media is where people are spending all their time these days. That's where they're at. In the old days, they were in other channels. They were watching TV. They had certain stations on TV that they watched all the time. They were spending their time in other places. Nowadays, those most popular stations are on social media. It's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, etc., TikTok. These are the places people are all day. So marketing in the simplest form is just being where your customers are. And so here's the deal. You need to be there, right, to be in the game. So that's here again why you need to be creating content on Instagram, YouTube, all these different channels where your potential customers are, because that's going to just put you in the game, right? It's going to keep you top of mind so that they think of you, because you want to be the most well-known brand in your town on social media. People need to see you. So here's some power tips. Follow local neighborhoods, follow local nonprofits, follow high school teams, build a network. Go to Instagram and search the location section, and for your hometown, start liking all the posts of everybody that's posted recently in your hometown. You don't have to be salesy. You don't have to be putting coupons or sales promotions or anything like that. Just engage, like their content, comment about it. What's going to happen is they're going to see that you're pretty cool as a brand. Like, you're engaged in the community, you're liking their stuff, you're leaving comments, you're not even trying to sell them, but you know what they're doing? They're seeing your logo there. And that's just renting space in their mind, right? So that when they think of a brand in your area that does what you do, you're the brand that they think about. Or maybe their neighbor, maybe they don't even need your brand, but maybe their neighbor does. And they say, hey, have you ever heard of a good barber? And you're like, oh yeah, actually, try this barber. I've never gone there, but they're always commenting on my content, seem really cool. You should try them out. And that's another way to get referrals, just by building a positive presence on social media. Tip 8 is to increase your market share with multi-channel advertising. So I got a quote for you that we say a lot, that if you remember this, it makes a lot of sense, which is, you can't control where people are looking, but you can control if you're there, right? And that's multi-channel advertising. You can't control if somebody's spending their time right now on YouTube or Instagram, or if they're spending their time driving on the highway and there's a digital billboard on the road that they're seeing right now. You can't control where they are or what they're doing with their time, but you can control if you're there. And that's multi-channel advertising. And that's why it's important to focus on multi-channel advertising, because here again, marketing is about being where your customers are. But your customers are in a lot of places. So you have to think about where they are, and you need to have a presence there. So that's why it's important to focus on multi-channel advertising, creating content in these areas, but also spending some money to advertise, to have some placements in these different channels. Because if they see you in more than one place, it starts to build trust, right? If you see a brand on Facebook and Instagram, maybe on a digital billboard, you instantly think this brand must be legit, right? And so it builds that trust that helps aid the buying process, which is going to be key. Last tip I got for you is to level up your marketing technology and talent. So marketing technology and talent, let's talk about that. So you need technology, you need a platform to do all this stuff. So you need a platform to manage your customers and your leads, a platform to manage your payments and your scheduling and your email marketing and your automations and schedule your social media. You need the tools. The platform and the tools and the technology are key. But you also need talent, right? You can't just have an F-16 fighter pilot jet without that does much without a fighter pilot. So you have to have the crew, right? You need to have the people that are skilled at the marketing, skilled at the design. And if you're not skilled at those things, or maybe you're busy running your business, you need to invest in somebody that is, so that they can be the pilot. Because, you know, it all comes down to your brand. And your brand is so important that you want to have the tools and the talent to drive that brand forward. Because it's all about perspective, right? It's all about perspective. And the community around your local area has a certain perspective about your brand and a certain perception. And perception's reality, right? There might be a new brand that's not anywhere as talented as your team, not nearly as much experience, but if they have a nice looking brand and they're doing their marketing right, the perception is they're better, right? Even if that's not true, but perception's reality. So you need to build the right perception in your local community, which is you're the best brand in town. You're the most professional, you're the most engaged, you are the one-stop shop. You're the Nike or the Under Armour, essentially, of your hometown when it comes to what you do. And so it's about putting the technology in place and the talent in place to execute that game plan and make that happen. If you can do that, then you're going to see a huge return on investment month over month, and the valuation of your business will really skyrocket over the coming years. As times get challenging, marketing is something that a lot of businesses that don't stand behind their brand pull back on. And what happens is it creates an opportunity for the brands that do invest in their brand to capture market share. And so this is an opportunity over the rest of this year for you to capture significant market share. And it starts by putting all of your efforts towards building your brand, right? In all the different channels that I just talked about in these 9 tips. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this and this was helpful, and there's some pretty good tips here to share. If you guys have additional comments or questions or things that you want us to cover in the future, we want to do more of these live tip videos, so please shoot us the ideas. Anything around marketing, sales, leadership, we're all about sharing the things that we've learned over the years. So just let us know what you want to learn and we will share. So thanks guys, have a good one. Peace.